Hey there, welcome back. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Dara, and in this video, you're going to learn how to make this pink, high fashion floral arrangement using flowers from Trader Joe's. Let's begin. And right away, I'm gonna start with a disclaimer. Actually, the first flower that we're going in is not a flower from Trader Joe's. It's a flower that I got from Market. It is in the Limonium family, and I will link that below for you, the name, as well as the entire recipe to recreate this floral arrangement if you wish to. So first we're starting off with Limonium, and this is what is traditionally considered a filler flower, and I like to do things the unconventional way, and I think that is how a couturier thinks. So I reference a lot of fashion for my floral designs. I look at a lot of gown silhouettes, just silhouettes of clothing in general, a lot of millinery. So I like to start off with a base shape in my general kind of dome pave style arrangement. And so again, first I'm going in with this stunning, very special Limonium. This is also another disclaimer, kind of a stinky flower. So if you have a client that is particular and perhaps they're not really inclined to anything other than gorgeous smelling flowers, then you might want to omit this and use another different type of highly textural flower, perhaps Genestra, perhaps wax flower. Baby's breath would be a really good one as well, another old-fashioned but high-fashion flower. So I have, to start the base of this arrangement, about 40 stems. I got 4 bunches of this stunning Limonium, and what I'm doing with a lot of these little lateral pieces, like I do when I'm designing arrangements, I'm always trimming down. I'm taking down the smaller pieces, the smaller laterals, I set those aside and then tuck those in at the bottom of the arrangement and build the base of the arrangement with the major support structure stem. It's a very useful way to get the most out of the stems that you're working with and the most coverage as well. So about 40 stems. Sometimes these bunches, they don't always come in exactly 10 stems each, sometimes less, sometimes more. So I'm tucking in, again, those little lateral pieces because this is, and the overall actual arrangement dimensions when done was about, what was it, 17 inches height by 24 inches cubed, so width and depth. So if I went in with the pieces of Limonium just as they were, it would have created too much density on the inside of the arrangement, and because I also want some of those flowers pointing out at the right position so that they're facing our frame of reference and our eyes and not just kind of like stuffed down in the arrangement, that's why I cut those little lateral pieces and put them aside and use them around the bottom. If you need a closer up tutorial of how I do that, please let me know in the comments. It is difficult to know exactly if what I'm showing you is helpful, so let me know. So second flower in, and I've talked about this in my other highly textural arrangement that I'll link up here or here for you, the yin and yang arrangement. The reason I go in, if I'm using calla as a second flower, is because first of all, the stem by itself as a first flower will not give enough structure for the style arrangement that I'm creating with this. If I were designing an all calla arrangement, then of course I would start with that flower, but because it's a highly textural arrangement and I have all of these other filler style flowers that I'm working with, I go in with that as my second flower. And the other reason being because the stems are very delicate, and the grid support structure that we've built at the beginning, they're delicate, and so when they hit that structure, they have a tendency to either split vertically or kind of mush and bunch together if there are too many flowers in the arrangement to begin with. So second reason that I'm going in with calla lily as my second flower. It just really helps it, and it also then creates another kind of dimension in the arrangement, which you can see starting to take shape here. You can see that there's a little bit more point. It's giving it a little bit more of, it's bringing the shape a little bit more outward, where at first it was kind of a mushroom button shape. Now it's starting to bring the shape a little bit more outward and create a little bit more interest. So third flower in, this incredible, and this is why, again, I decided to do a how to make an arrangement with Trader Joe's flowers, because guess what? I haven't seen this particular variety of Dianthus at the market. I have seen the darker style of it, but not this particular hue. This is a hot pink with a picotee edge, and if you're new to what picotee is one of my all-time favorites. It's basically a striped edge. So any flower that has a different color edge from the overall shade of the flower is a picotee flower. Ranunculus are also pretty famous for that picoteed edge. Carnations typically tend to have a lot of picotee elements to them. So another one is the Picasso calla lily. It's stunning. I love to use it in my yin and yang arrangements. Then a couple days later, after having picked up this Limonium and I was doing my little groceries at Trader Joe's, I saw in their fresh cut section a bunch of flowers, and this was on pretty much like the day before the new astrological year, the spring equinox, and the Persian New Year. This is truly, in my opinion, like the actual new year. Everything is bursting forth with life. We have Aries season popping off. It's the first sign in the zodiac, a lot of initiatory, aggressive, go forward energy. And so I'm just like, wow, I saw all of these incredible pink, vibrant flowers at Trader Joe's, and I was like, this needs to become a tutorial. So here we are. And again, have not seen this particular Dianthus in this specific hue at market. Go figure. Sometimes you just run into these things at Trader Joe's. Sometimes, I hate to shout it out, but Trader Joe's also sometimes has phenomenal, like truly phenomenal garden roses that are sometimes the same, like from the same farms, Alexandra Farms I've seen, that we get at the wholesale market, and they are like half. I really hate talking about this because it breaks my heart. Like, we have to, wholesalers have to mark up the product that they buy, and then we as florists have to mark that product up. Whereas Trader Joe's, God bless them, and God bless grocery stores that carry flowers, makes it more accessible to the general public. However, it is for them a loss leader. If you're new to what a loss leader is, it's simply an item that a store will carry to attract customers so that they know the customer's coming in for, oh, I know I can get really cheap fresh cut flowers, and then once it draws that customer in, they're more likely to buy other things. So Trader Joe's does not make money on their fresh cut flowers. They just don't. They may, considering if they work directly with a farm, they have some sort of overarching contract. Actually, this would be a good discovery video for me as a florist, to investigate a little bit deeper. Like, does Trader Joe's have contracts with farms where they buy lots of the farm for Trader Joe's specifically, and so maybe they have a little bit of a markup? Again, all of this is kind of speculation, so I really shouldn't be going that deep into it. But coming from my background, when I started designing in the 90s, I started in I was gonna say 94, but that's not true. Actually, it was 99. I began my floral design, what they called ornamental horticulture at that time. 1999 at my high school in Hudson, New Hampshire. Massive blessing, changed my life, helped me discover my passion and my career, basically. So at that time, it was still illegal. It was part of some sort of pact that grocery stores were not allowed to carry fresh cut flowers. It was specifically for the floral industry because it would ruin our industry. And to a degree it has, and then in other areas it has caused us to become more innovative. You'll see a lot more what wasn't popular then, wedding florists and wedding designers and like full on massive banquet hall florists, which all of this is gonna be for another episode, and I'm very excited to talk about it. But so all that to say, Trader Joe's does not make money, or as far as I know, they don't make money on their fresh cut flowers. So if you need some cheap flowers, sometimes they have good ones. And today, this is what we're making. We're making a high fashion flower arrangement for the new year with these stunning products that I found at Trader Joe's. Fourth flower in here is this stunning baby pink mini carnation. So another variety of carnation, or Dianthus if you will. This one is a solid hue, pink, and just another really fun texture to add into this arrangement. I'm doing the same thing that I do on all of my other fresh cut stems, which is to trim off any of the foliage, any of the tiny little laterals. All of that, takes energy from the stem and away from the bloom, and also creates more of a messy look in the arrangement. So there's two very important reasons as to why I remove those pieces from the stem, especially because I'm not creating in this video a hyper green arrangement. It's stripped down just to the color on the bloom. It's another reason why to remove all of that foliage. So then you just get down to that gorgeous saturated color. I always begin the arrangement using Flora Life powder food. This is a very critical step that I always use to create my arrangements. The flowers appreciate it, they last a lot longer, they drink better, and they overall hydrate better. The fifth flower in is this cute, super cute button chrysanthemum, also a gorgeous pink hue, and in the same exact color palette as all of these other flowers. They're all kind of like this warmish, you know what? It's both warm and cool at the same time. I don't know how to explain that, it just is. It's right there in the middle, so maybe it's like a neutral pink. But I found it really miraculous that Trader Joe's had so many flowers that were all in that exact pigment hue, saturation kind of color realm. So just very excited to be sharing this almost 100% Trader Joe's flower arrangement today. I have seen Trader Joe's carry Status, that purple Limonium. It's kind of like a bigger head flower. So if you're making a purple arrangement and they have that would be a good substitute. But again, you could use Genestra, you could use wax, you could use baby's breath. Any other highly textural flower for this arrangement will create a similar aesthetic. And same thing with the button chrysanthemum. I take off any of the laterals that are creating too much of a bulky shape at the top of the bunch to then work down into the arrangement on the lip, because it's also important to have that shape in all areas of the arrangement, not just dotted around the top, but also tucked in at the bottom. So you're seeing it from all angles and it creates this really harmonious, pleasurable eye game. I don't know how to say. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying. All right, last flower in, and again, this is referencing the yin and yang flower arrangement. I'm using this gorgeous plum pink spider chrysanthemum. And the reason I'm going in with this last is because the petals of the chrysanthemum, the spider chrysanthemum, are very delicate. All flowers are delicate, some are more than others. So one of the things you'll learn quickly as a beginner florist is that spider chrysanthemum can shatter easily. It depends on where they are in their life stage, but also just from a logistics standpoint of how this goes into an arrangement and how you need to create a base for the flower to sit atop makes a little bit more sense when you're creating this style arrangement. May not be as important for other more loose, romantic style arrangements. But if you're making a pave style arrangement similar to this one, it's good to remember to do that last. And then the last step here is always, always, always my Flora Life finishing touch. This is a wax-based spray, and it keeps the moisture in on the flowers. It locks it in and keeps flowers super gorgeous for a super long time. It just really helps a lot. You can find all of the tools that I used to create this arrangement in my description box below at the Amazon store. Super easy and convenient. If you found this tutorial helpful and you learned something new today, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more floral design education and entertainment. Thanks so much for watching.